the thing that has really fascinated me in this NBA season is just the Jayson Tatum topic, debate, discourse, whatever you want to call it. Because I know it's been overblown for the last couple of years. I was somewhere in the middle in terms of I don't think he's one of the 3 best players in the league overall, but I didn't think he was trash like some of these people were saying, that he's not top 10 or that. Like, he was clearly between like 4 and 6 or 7 in the league at any given time. And this year, again, watching the Celtics every game, it's pretty clear that I'm like, you know what? This guy is a top 3 player in the league. Like, he just is, and he's hitting his prime right now, right? He's getting there. And the more I watch Jayson Tatum every night, the more I realize he's probably not going to win an MVP. He's just not the kind of NBA player that wins MVP. Because what the NBA MVP is it's an MOP. It's just the best player. And that's fine. I don't really have a qualm with that. They've been consistent with that over the years. They've not taken value into account the way I think baseball does and definitely used to. And the NHL to some extent does. NBA doesn't. It's just a most outstanding player award. Okay, fine. And so there was a straw poll done by the players on who their MVP candidates are, who their choice is. And Jayson Tatum comes in 4th at the midseason mark. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, number 1, who will probably win the award. Jokic, number 2. Giannis, number 3. And Tatum, number 4. And I'm not here to say, like, Giannis is having a really good season, and Milwaukee is kind of has a puncher's chance in this thing. And I think Jokic is the best player on the planet. But it's like we almost get clouded by that too if we go the value route, right? Like, Milwaukee's better than they should be. Maybe. They're 29 and 24. But last year, people were thinking that's the team that's going to beat the Celtics. In fact, some NBA experts coming into this year thought this was going to be the team to beat the Celtics. And yet the Celtics were far and away the best team in the league last year. They're pretty damn close to being the best team in the league this year. They're certainly still the best built for the playoffs. And Jayson Tatum in both years has been the best player on the best team. And you watch him night in, night out, and the attention that he gets from other defenses and his playmaking ability, which has skyrocketed the last couple of seasons. The way he has the game on puppet strings. Like, I watch this guy and I think he's an MVP. I watch this guy and I say, yeah, there aren't 5 guys in the league that I would trade him for. He plays every night. He plays well every night. His shooting has gotten better. His playmaking is outstanding at this point. He's still a pretty damn good defender. And he makes his teammates better. An already very good roster, he makes them better. And like, I've come, maybe this is, some Tatum goggles here. But the big thing I've taken away from this season versus previous seasons with Tatum is the end of game situations. Now, he's had 2 game-winning shots this year. He had a 3 at the buzzer to beat Toronto, and he had a fadeaway jumper with about half a second left to beat New Orleans. And yet still, people will be like, oh, well, he did it against New Orleans and Toronto, so you can't win. But the other thing I've noticed is how much he defers in the late game situations. And I use defers in air quotes because that's what it looks like when he's not taking the last shot. But really, when you look back at it every time, if you don't like Tatum and you want that narrative to be bad against him, you would say he's deferring. But if you watch the game and you understand what he's going for, you realize that he gets the most attention, that he's got some damn talented teammates, and the attention that he brings can leave a pretty talented guy open and can make for the perfect play. And he does that all the time. The people who don't think Jayson Tatum are clutch just don't know basketball, or they don't watch it. So that's why Jayson Tatum will never win the MVP. The NBA won't let him if he's doing that, if he's making plays at the end of the games. If he's making shots at the end of games, that's what they want. but not the guy who makes the right play. They don't want that. They don't want a guy whose numbers are up there with the best. They don't want a guy who leads his team in every major statistical category as the defending champions. He leads the team in points, rebounds, and assists per game, as he did the entire postseason last year. He was one of like 3 guys to ever do that for a team that went to the finals. I think he was the only guy to ever do it for a championship team. And yet we don't see the value in that. Come on, guys. So at some point, you just, as a Celtics fan, you just got to live with it. Because he's probably not going to put up the numbers, quite the numbers, because he's pretty close, but not going to put up quite the numbers that SGA does and what Giannis has to do on a night-in, night-out basis, even what Shea has to do on a night-in, night-out basis for another really talented team in Oklahoma City, and how Jokic has to carry Denver. This is the ultimate knock on Tatum, is that he has good teammates that are really good at basketball. So they won't find him to be the MVP. If it ever became a true MVP award, MVP, there would be no doubt he's the most valuable player. But it's an MOP award. And that's fine. That's just what it has to be, I guess. But it's too bad that we don't really understand the value of a guy who, again, just led this team in every category last year. And they were one of the best teams this century, at least. And are going to be the odds-on favorite to repeat, even though Cleveland's pretty good. Because, by the way, 5th in that poll, just behind Tatum, is Donovan Mitchell. Like, if we made this a value award, Donovan Mitchell should be much higher. He's always been an underrated player, and Cleveland is the best team in the East. But it's not. That's 4 and 5 proves to you it is not a value award. Even 3. I mean, Giannis is carrying them. Anyway, Jayson Tatum's not going to win an MVP. It's too bad because I think he deserves to. He'll be one of the best players to not win an MVP, I think. Let me know down in the comments below what you think. Is he overrated? Should he be winning the MVP this year? Let me know. Be sure to like and subscribe. Helps out the channel a lot. We are live on YouTube, high noon Eastern time every day, talking Boston sports and, of course, some Four Nations and Freebird. And then we're available wherever you get your podcasts.
We are Rogue Media Sports.
Hey, thanks for stopping by. And if you like this video, be sure to give us a like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel a ton. You can follow me on Twitter here for some more outrageous Boston sports takes coming to you every weekday at noon Eastern time. And then after that, wherever you get your podcasts.
We are Rogue Media Sports.